Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The quarterfinals come to the precipice tonight here in Baltimore, Maryland. Andy Hamilton along with Eric Vinson for the Atlanta Swarm and the Baltimore Vultures. It's the battle of the birds and the bees, Eric, here in Baltimore, Maryland. We have quite the game for you tonight. What are you looking forward to in this battle?
Man, Andy, this is going to be a good one as we get a look at the team comparison here tonight. Baltimore, obviously, with a very impressive secondary, two corners that have been talked about throughout the league as elite corners, 17 picks between the two of them during the course of the regular season, 0 career interceptions between the two of them in the playoffs. So we will have to see how these guys step up tonight against this high-flying passing attack of the Atlanta Swarm.
The first time the Atlanta Swarm have ever played an SFL game here in Baltimore, Maryland. They do so in their white uniforms and blue pants. Baltimore tonight will take the field on the other side, and they are going to have to try and stifle Marcus Dunhill, the quarterback who has really been doing it for the Atlanta Swarm. And Eric, the game really, we talked about prior to kicking off this broadcast, is going to come down to what Dunhill can do with the ball and how well he can protect it. The number 2 quarterback in the SFL in the regular season in terms of yards.
Yeah, throwing over 4,200 yards. However, you hit the nail on the head, Andy. Very up and down. 27 passing touchdowns, 27 picks. A 93.1 QBR, still very good. However, we don't know what version of Marcus Dunhill we're going to get. We'll have to find out which one shows up tonight.
Baltimore will receive to start the game, and we are underway in the final quarterfinal game of the SFL playoffs in season 13. Bolt with the return, still on his feet, and he is out to the 33, and Mike Dazzo will lead this offense out onto the field.
Yeah, and Mike Dazzo, son of linebacker Joe Dazzo over on the opposite side there. He has 197 career passing touchdowns, 3 more. And Dazzo will become 4th quarterback with 200 touchdowns all time.
Mike Dazzo has thrown a touchdown in every game this season and will look to do so again tonight, potentially on this opening drive. But first, a handoff to T-Roy Gaines. Gaines going to pick up a few yards. He will get 3. And Eric, we talked a little bit about it prior to the broadcast. T-Roy Gaines has been great for this Baltimore team, but has struggled down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely, and a bit surprising as well. T-Roy, one of the top-tier running backs, I would consider him in the SFL, but he has not had a 100-yard rushing game since September the 10th. So we have yet to see T-Roy really kind of get his train rolling as they move into the playoffs.
Short drop, Dazzo off balance, throws nearly picked off right away. The Atlanta Swarm, were all over it, but could not bring in the interception.
Man, and that was a dangerous throw right there. It had pick 6 written all over it. Andy Darren Williams, one of the extra corners on the play, couldn't quite grip it.
Well, and for Dazzo, it's going to be really important to take care of the ball. He is 2-2 this season when he has thrown 3 interceptions. Anything less than 3, he is undefeated. 5 wide here on 3rd and 7. That throw is dropped in and out of the hands of the receiver. They were trying to pick up the first down, but Edward Morgan could not haul it in.
Yeah, and going with a little bit of a different look there on 3rd and long and trying to move the sticks through the air there. Edward Morgan, not accustomed to being on the field a whole lot, drops an easy one there that would have easily moved the sticks for the Vultures. And it's a 3 and out to start things off here at home for Baltimore.
3 and out, and the 3rd down play for this Baltimore offense, a key that we'll get into later. Atlanta wins the opening drive battle and will get the ball for their offensive unit, and they will start at the 33-yard line. Marcus Dunhill, the quarterback for the Atlanta Swarm, bringing him out and putting the team on his back. A win last time out against Tulsa to advance them to this game here. It's important that he does the right thing tonight.
Yeah, and if he plays like he did in the wild card, they're probably going to come away with an away victory here in Baltimore, which would be huge for the franchise.
Dunhill to throw on first down, takes a deep shot, and that is picked off on the first play of the game. It's coming back the other way, and it's Giovanni Bolt down to the 40, his third career playoff interception.
And Giovanni Bolt, one of the leaders of this secondary here. He is the only one with a title on this Baltimore team. As you get a look right there, a little tip drill going on with the rest of the Vulture defense. And this is exactly what we were talking about, Andy. Marcus Dunhill has got to take care of the football. Otherwise, it's going to be tough sledding for them tonight.
Dunhill coming into the game led the SFL in regular season yards per attempt, so he likes to sling it downfield. Did so, and the snake bit him on the first play here on the opening drive. So now Baltimore will take back over after a 3 and out. Dazzo to throw, out route beautifully thrown, and wide open is Holder, out an 8-yard pickup to the 32.
Yeah, and those out routes, those will usually get you free and get you a good chunk of yards. That time gave you 8 on first down, which keeps you ahead of schedule. And 2nd and 2 is very, very manageable, especially when you have a back like T-Roy Gaines for the Vultures.
20th career playoff reception there for Daley Holder. He sure would like to get some more action. And off T-Roy Gaines, stuffed in the backfield. Dylan Rowland back there in a hurry. Only had 5 tackles for loss during the regular season, but got one there.
Yeah, Dylan Rowland read that the whole way. T-Roy had no chance of getting out of the backfield there. As we see the graphic come up on the screen, hadn't had a 100-yard rushing game since September the 10th. We touched on that a little bit earlier. And T-Roy struggling early on here in this quarterfinal.
4 wide for Dazzo. Out route is caught. Holder again on another out route. Spin, stays in bounds, and fights his way to the 20-yard line. Over 20 yards already for Daley Holder, who was almost underused during the regular season, Eric.
Yeah, and Daley Holder, you wouldn't necessarily categorize him when you think of the name. You wouldn't categorize him as being underused, but I would 100% agree with that, Andy.
700 yards from scrimmage during the regular season. Now a handoff to Gaines. Gaines had the edge, but did not have the speed to outrun Dylan Rowland. I thought that was going to be a touchdown there, Eric.
Yeah, and those are the kind of plays that, honestly, you might want to start working T-Roy more on, these off-tackle plays, especially with this good offensive line here for Baltimore. That'll bounce on the outside and get him some much-needed room to turn off the afterburners. It just wasn't there on that play for whatever reason.
Offensive line only giving up 18 sacks during the season. Incredibly good unit. Dazzo, short drop, quick throw on the out route there. Caught, turned upfield is Warfield. Oh, they're going to mark him all the way down at the 6. I don't know about that one, Eric.
There were certainly some nifty feet there on the sideline. I'm not sure if he really stayed in bounds as he was bouncing off against the defender there, but certainly enough to move the sticks. I just don't know if he got down at the 6 there.
21st, playoff reception there for Warfield. Both of these two receivers under 25 receptions in the playoffs, so underutilized. Flip it out to T-Roy, who is utilized in the pass game, but he cannot get to the pylon. Great recovery there by Jack Napier, the rookie.
And these are the type of plays that T-Roy Gaines needs to win. These one-on-one matchups on the outside. You're going up against a corner or a defensive back. You have to beat that guy and get your butt into the end zone on plays like that. It just didn't happen this time for T-Roy, and he's got to get it tuned up here.
Gaines is one for the end zone, 16 touchdowns in the regular season. Dazzo to throw, screen out to T-Roy. T-Roy turns it back infield, spins, and finds Payer. T-Roy Gaines puts Baltimore on top, 6-0.
And that was exactly what I was talking about right there, Andy, as he goes up against a defensive back, Sean McGee, one of the extra safeties coming in on the package. T-Roy beats him one-on-one and waltzes into the end zone. That's the type of play you expect from your playmaking back.
7-play, 40-yard drive ends in a 3-yard pass reception by T-Roy Gaines into the end zone. This Baltimore team 1-1 here at Vultures Field in the playoffs, and they are trying to make that a winning record tonight against this fiery Atlanta Swarm team who started off on the wrong foot with a Marcus Dunhill interception. Extra point on the way and good. It's a 7-point lead for the hometown Baltimore Vultures. We'll be right back. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Baltimore, Maryland, the site of tonight's quarterfinal game. Andy Hamilton, along with Eric Vinson, the Atlanta Swarm allow a 7-point drive after an interception from Marcus Dunhill is capped off by a T. Roy Gaines touchdown. And now the Swarm will start at their own 20-yard line. Offense for Atlanta. The receivers are Siege Falco, Boo Chisholm, tight end Jamal Wooding, and another receiver, Severus Sativa, who just took a knee in the end zone on that return. And a dynamic back, BDG Hollywood. Eric, this guy does it all.
Yeah, and BDG is one of those guys that can hit you with running the football or getting passes out of the backfield. An electric guy, electric running back, and beware of that spin move.
Handoff Hollywood. Good blocking up the middle. Spin. Still on his feet. There he goes. BDG Hollywood across the 50. Bolt is going to try and will bring him down at the 37. Right as lightning strikes, BDG takes a big one.
And that's exactly what we're talking about here is looks like Atlanta's going to go a little hurry up to start things off with their second possession. But BDG, he had a 100-yard game on the ground as well as through the air against the Oklahoma City Renegades.
Stuff there on that play by Amon Takes. Good linebacker and a good tackle for loss. Dunhill to throw. Floats one down the middle. Caught! What a grab! That's the Boo Chisholm, a good wide receiver there, making his 17th career playoff catch.
Yeah, and that's what will happen here with this hurry-up offense. It'll find pockets in the zone coverage and hit the receiver there.
Dunhill firing again. That one nearly picked off. It was in and out of the hands of Cyron Yates IV. He could not bring it in, and Dunhill counting his blessings there.
Yeah, looking very, very different. The tale of two drives here for Marcus Dunhill. He was looking very, very good, very decisive, especially with that no-huddle offense, and then he throws a head-scratcher there, but certainly lucky to have that one back.
Talked to Mark before the game. The offensive coordinator and owner of the Atlanta Swarm said they need to go to BDG early and often. Here's a flip out to him on the outside. Only gets a yard there. Was very effective in the receiving game during the season. And even last game out against Tulsa, 8 receiving touchdowns. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that kind of keys in BDG Hollywood himself, dominant in the flat. When you're coming out and you have 23 catches and over 100 yards coming out of the backfield, that's incredibly impressive for a running back.
Hollywood off the field on 3rd and 9. Dump it short. That one is incomplete. Was trying to find Jason Hunt. Hunt could not bring it in at the 18, and they will most likely send out Jay Miraculous.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit as well. Jay Miraculous missing a field goal in last week's game in the wild card win. So we'll have to see if maybe he got the jitters, the playoff jitters out of his system here.
2 for 3 last time out, against Tulsa over the weekend, and now we'll try and put Atlanta on the board. Kick on the way here, and that is going to be good from 35. The Atlanta Swarm answer off of a big BDG Hollywood run to cut the lead to 4.
Yeah, and hats off to Jay Miraculous. Saw him in the chat there say no jitters as he just takes a deep breath and nails that one there to get a Swarm on the board.
Well, Giovanni Bolt, the electric returner for the Baltimore Vultures, has a punt, kickoff, and interception return for a touchdown this season, and always dangerous when he has his hands on the ball, and we saw that earlier when he got that interception. Bolt will return this one from the 10 out across the 25 and brought down at the 27. Well, let's get to this Baltimore offense. On the other side of the ball, Mike Dazzo, the quarterback, T. Roy Gaines, the running back, 2 receivers, Bishop Warfield and Daley Holder, along with Lloyd Graham Jr., the tight end, and a fullback, Cliff Boston. Well, Dazzo, so far tonight, has played well. First in the league in completion percentage, completing 77% of his passes. Elects to go with a T. Roy Gaines run there, and it's good for 6.
And this is the type of offense that really Baltimore needs to kind of get themselves into, get the run game going on the early downs, get the offense on the train tracks, so to speak, and then kind of lull the defense to sleep and maybe hit a little play action over the top to get a big chunk of yards and possibly a score.
Gains 10 yards on 4 attempts. They'll feed him again and does not get going very much. We talked a little bit about it. These linebackers for Atlanta are going to play a big part tonight. Aquantis Shine and Dylan Rowland going to have to try and stop T-Roy Gaines.
Yeah, and Aquana Shine, one of the best linebackers in the SFL, if not the best linebacker in the SFL, almost hitting the triple-digit mark in total tackles this season. The leading tackler and the leader himself on this Swarm defense.
Dazzo out route caught, and they are going to mark him short of the sticks. Warfield was right at the line to gain. And think about a challenge here, maybe, Eric?
Honestly, I thought that he had gotten enough to move the sticks there. It would be close, so maybe they keep the challenge flag in the pocket, but just looking at it real time, it was looking like he had enough.
Well, on third down, the Baltimore Vultures coming into the game averaged 61% conversion rate. Atlanta's defense only allowing 45% on third down. That will be the battle to watch all night, is Atlanta's defense versus Baltimore's offense on third down. The Swarm get the ball back here from Baltimore, Maryland. We'll be right back after a short break. It's the quarterfinals of the SFL playoffs live on 11. Back here in Baltimore, Maryland, Atlanta has the ball back after stopping this Baltimore offense coming off of the field goal by Jay Miraculous. Now the ball back for the Swarm. Flip out here to Hollywood on first down. Hollywood with a block, and Hollywood picks up 9. What a run after the catch from BDG.
And that was that lethal spin move I was talking about there, Andy. You got to watch out for BDG's spin move because he'll suck you in and spit you right back out.
Getting to this Baltimore defense, 2 good linebackers, Joe Dazzo along with Amon Takes and Cyron Yates the fourth. On the defensive line, Mac Chima, Tucker Lewis, and Chad Rowland. 2 good safeties, Tony Willis and Giovanni Bolt. And then 2 good cornerbacks, which we'll get to right after this play. 2nd and 1 from Dunhill. Going to float one. That is in and out of the hands of the receiver. Siege Falco could not haul it in. It was Kaz McFly in coverage.
And Siege Falco, one of the star receivers on this squad here, and nothing really special about this ball. He just couldn't quite come up with it. Good defense there from Kaz McFly to come up and just the football loose.
McFly led the league in interceptions with 10, but has yet to chart a playoff interception. Has 1 playoff pass deflection. That is his only passing stat. Here on third down, Dunhill going to have to sidearm it. That is incomplete. Looks like he wanted the screen to BDG, could not get it, and Joe Dazzo makes his 6th career playoff pass deflection to end that drive.
And good pressure up front by the Baltimore front 7, getting into the lap of Marcus Dunhill and making him feel pressured. He had to throw that sidearm pass, and as ugly as it was, that was the only way that he was going to get it out, whether it was a good pass or not.
And they will turn the ball back over to this Baltimore offense. The defense for the Vultures, 9th in the league in interceptions. They've taken away 25 with a turnover of plus 25. And for those of you wondering how you can get involved with the Simulation Football League, you can head over to our website, simulationfl.net. From there, you can join our Discord server. You can check in each week to improve your player's stock, which is good for the SFL Rookie Draft, which is coming up in December of this year. We've been around since 2015, still kicking here in 2019, and these playoffs are rolling through. Dazzo dropped on the first play of this drive, coming right up the middle to make the play was Joshua Williams. He had a sack last week, and in his second career playoff game, he has a second.
Yeah, and I was watching Joshua Williams that whole play there. He got good pressure, beat his man off the line. And honestly, you need to be double teaming a guy like Joshua Williams to keep him off of your quarterback.
His nickname is Swole. Chisholm said prior to the game they're going to have to get Dazzo uncomfortable with Swole in terms of blitzing. And that play there, a big run from T. Roy Gaines out to the right side. Okay. Big run from T. Roy Gaines off the right side is going to set up this big 3rd and 5. This Baltimore offense averaging 61% of their third down conversions in the regular season. Let's see what they do here. Dazzo throwing out route. Caught first down there to Warfield. They ran that play on the last drive. Didn't get the first down. Warfield ran it past the sticks this time, and they moved the chains.
Yeah, a much smarter route there by Bishop Warfield to make sure that he had enough to get the first down this time around. Very clearly running it about 1.5 yards past the sticks, making sure that he gets the first down.
Talked to Tim Johnston prior to the game about what Baltimore needed to do to win, Eric. He was very candid. He said they simply need to score 1 point more than Atlanta's offense. He's looking for a shootout tonight.
I mean, that is the name of the game there. Score more points than the bad guys, right?
That indeed. Handoff to Gaines off this left side with blockers. T. Roy Gaines into the open field. He's across the 30, and he is down to the 22. T. Roy Gaines coming alive.
Very well blocked up front. You can see this play develop the entire way, and just hat on hat, everybody getting in there, holding their blocks, and T-Roy just making it look easy. No one even touched him until he got into the third level of the defense. Very impressive run by T-Roy Gaines.
Atlanta Swarm defense 9th against the rush in the regular season, only giving up 88 yards a game to opposing backs. They've given up 57 tonight to T. Roy Gaines on just 7 carries, and a long of 37 right there. Dazzo out route. Another one is caught by Holder. He is able to pick up 5, and they've really neutralized these 2 corners with the out routes early.
Yeah, and that was what I was talking about, Andy. A little bit of the dink and dunk, maybe not necessarily the run play, or the running game that they're using per se, but yeah, these out routes, you're absolutely right. Negating these corners, these impressive corners from Atlanta, and making sure that they keep the offense ahead of schedule. That's what they really need to do here in order to beat this Atlanta Swarm defense.
Flip out to T-Roy here with plenty of room. Gaines has the first down, stiff arms a man, and has a run down to the 6. This Baltimore offense threatening to score again.
And he just made Blake Hamrack look silly on this play. Very impressive as we get another look here. T-Roy, no one really in front there, throws the stiff arm. Get down into the turf, young man. Don't you touch me.
Hamrack, 13 career tackles for loss, could not get back there quick enough on T-Roy Gaines. Gaines already has one receiving touchdown tonight. Scored that on a reception, and now a bunch formation to the top. They will give to T-Roy up the middle. Gaines only gets a yard. This Atlanta team, when they're rushed up the middle, they have been able to get a hat on T-Roy Gaines, but on the outside, it's a little bit of a crapshoot.
Right, and we talked about it a little bit in the red zone as well on the Baltimore's last trip, was that stretch play to get him to the outside a little bit more.
2nd and goal from the 4. And that is going to be a tackle for loss. Big play there. Dylan Rowland leading the way for this Atlanta defense to set up this 3rd and goal.
And we might see one more play here before the end of the first quarter here, Andy. And this is an important one here for Baltimore.
Bunch formation. Dazzo under center to throw. Stands in the pocket, delivers. Nearly picked off. Chance was coming from the secondary and wanted the pick.
Ooh, and he almost got it as well. I think he alligator armed it a little bit, or maybe bounced off the chest plate as he was coming in. But man, he read that perfectly. Could have easily had pick going the other way.
This drive stalls out, and Baltimore will call upon Shark Tarkington. Eric, he was 95% during the regular season, only missing one kick, and he is a perfect 5 for 5 in the playoffs during his career of 92.7%. Only missed 5 kicks in his career. This chip shot is up from 23 and good, and at the end of one, it is going to be Baltimore up 10-3 over the Atlanta Swarm at home in front of the Vultures fans. It's the Simulation Football League quarterfinals. We'll be right back on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library and Custom Music House. Brought to you in part by Fuel Beyond Imagination. Visit the all-new SFLinteractive.net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL. And by Media Tech Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots tonight brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage. Beautiful shots of Baltimore, Maryland. Andy Hamilton along with Eric Vinson, Mark Lopez on stats, and Cameron Irvine in the production truck, keeping things moving here. It's the quarterfinals, and it's Wednesday, October 16th. And we have quite the game for you. Baltimore with a 7-point lead in front of their home crowd here, but Atlanta will not go silently into the good night. Sativa will return, and that short return will just get out to the 20. And Eric, this Atlanta offense last drive put together the best drive of the night so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got points on the board as a result. 7-play, 61-yard drive resulting in the field goal. But going back to what we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Andy, Marcus Dunhill, 3 of 8 for 28 yards and a pick so far. The only real splash play coming to Boot Chisholm over the middle in that zone pocket earlier.
Quick throw there. One-handed grab up the middle, and that is the tight end. And Eric, I want to make a stand here. I think Jamal Wooding is one of the premier tight ends in the Simulation Football League. He had 7 touchdowns this regular season, had 8 last regular season. The second-year tight end, he's got to be on more people's radars.
I cannot dispute you on that, Andy. Over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns through the air. I mean, you really can't shake a stick at this guy.
Dunhill to throw from the 29, has all day in the pocket, fires late. It's caught by Falco. Oh, man, Marcus Dunhill puts on a clinic, has all the time in the world, and finds Falco.
And hats off to Marcus Dunhill, standing strong in the pocket. Great protection there by the offensive line. And Steve Falco coming away from the defenders and making a little bit of a pocket that he can catch the football from his quarterback. That was just an all-around great play by the Swarm offense.
First catch by Falco. It's good for 19 yards up to the 48. Dunhill, 7-step drop, floats one across the top, and it's not able to get to Wooding. Tony Willis, the only player on the field tonight with a championship ring, makes that deflection. He got it in season 10 with Alaska, got his start in Carolina, and has his 3rd career playoff pass deflection right there.
Yeah, and Tony Willis, a primo safety here in the SFL, over 100 tackles, 4 interceptions. I'm looking at tackles for loss, which is a great stat. 5 interceptions on the year.
Dump out here to the fullback. That is only going to be good for a few yards. Peyton Chisholm is out to the 48, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. This Atlanta offense averaging 53% on 3rd down during the regular season, and Baltimore gives up about 53%. So odds are Atlanta has a fair shot at this one. They need to get down the field. The throw is caught by Wooding, and a first down right there. Eric, he's everywhere you need him to be.
Yeah, and that's exactly how he's become one of the better tight ends in the SFL, is when you spread them out like that, he's almost like an extra receiver just with the way he runs. He's a big dude, obviously, but man, speedy enough to line up at wide receiver, catch balls like that, and keep Marcus Dunhill comfortable.
Has had a bit of a dry spell, hasn't scored since September 1st. Flip out to Falco here. Caught, that is good for 5. And I tell you what, for Siege Falco, Eric, any game that he has 9 or more receptions, they have lost. 0-2 when Falco has caught the ball 9 or more times. He is best when used sparingly, already up to 2 catches tonight here in the first half.
Yeah, that's a puzzling stat as well, because Siege Falco is definitely one of your weapons here on this offense.
Hand off, Hollywood has the first down. Strong running from Hollywood. When I talked to Mark Chisholm earlier, they said one of their keys for the game is going to be to get Hollywood going early and often, and at 16 yards per carry, they are doing that.
Well, he had that huge chunk run on the previous drive, that 43-yard run, and then the 18-yard pass reception from Boo Chisholm on the same drive that was really one of the keys to that drive as well.
2 backs in the backfield, Chisholm the fullback. Here is Dunhill. They were trying to set up the screen, has to go far side. No, just throws it away. They were trying to set up the screen to Hollywood on the top side and could not do it. Well, the winner here tonight will play the number 3 seed Seattle, getting the big win last night over the Alaska Storm. If you haven't seen that highlight, I don't know where you've been the past 24 hours, but Tuesday the 22nd at 9:30, we will either be in Seattle or right here in Baltimore for the game, depending on who wins tonight. Shotgun drop for Dunhill on 2nd down, wants the deep ball, got the deep ball. Whoa. What a catch by Wooding.
Got up and grabbed it there, Andy. Good grief. That's why he's the big target here for Dunhill. Way to get up and get that one big fella and get your team into the red zone. 1st and goal.
5 yards, potentially stand between Atlanta and tying the game. Dunhill, shotgun snap, stands in the pocket, pressured, has to get rid of it, caught, touchdown up the middle. It's Severus Sativa with 6 points, and Atlanta draws within 1.
And this was Marcus Dunhill here, just standing strong in the pocket, looking, going through his progressions, knowing he's going to get hit right in the chest, and finds Sativa at the last second there, wide open in the end zone for a touchdown.
When he looked off number 33, Felix Maryland there, the safety who was floating there in the zone that Sativa was in, he actually looked Maryland into the corner route. Maryland moved, watching Dunhill's eyes, and Dunhill floated it back to Sativa for a touchdown in a big moment. Tie game, 10 points apiece. Atlanta answers the Baltimore Vultures here in Maryland. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and we'll be right back. Andy Hamilton along with Eric Vinson. Well, it was a 10-play, 80-yard drive that ended in a 5-yard passing touchdown from Marcus Dunhill to Severus Sativa. 44 of those 80 yards go to Jamal Wooding, who was 3 catches on 4 targets on that drive. One of the lesser talked about tight ends in the Simulation Football League, but one of the better ones, Eric. And if you are looking at these two teams, this is the first meeting between the Swarm and the Vultures. Last time these two teams, or these two owners, I should say, faced off was August 13th. Baltimore, the city of Baltimore, has never beat the Atlanta Swarm, and Atlanta has never played here in Baltimore, Maryland. Dazzo throwing. That one is caught by Warfield. I tell you what, Mike Dazzo on the sideline said, we're not wasting any time. We're going at this defense.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing here as we get another look. Bishop Warfield just coming out strong off the line. And honestly, it looked like the defense was a little confused on that play. Maybe a little bit of, crossing routes, wheel routes are the routes I was looking for there. And really just kind of separating off the line and finding that hole there for a big chunk play to start things off.
Heavy formation here. T-Roy Gaines is the back at the back of the pileup, along with Cliff Boston, the fullback. They'll flip it out to Gaines with a blocker in front. Gaines puts one man down, finally wrestled down by Blake Chance. Chance also got his start in Carolina. Eric, 4 defensive backs in the game tonight. Blake Chance, Blake Hamrick, and then on the Baltimore side of the ball, Giovanni Bolt, along with Tony Willis, all got their start with the Carolina Skyhawks, finding their way to tonight's game. Very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of different folks come from Carolina in order to kind of spread their wings here in the SFL. Great place to land.
Gaines with room. Gaines off to the races, down to the 20-yard line. T-Roy Gaines has got some good blocking, and he's had some good runs tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And Andy, honestly, these off-tackle runs have been the runs that he's gotten through most. And we saw it right there. Just great blocking up front by the offensive line, hat on hat again. And T-Roy just makes it look easy.
Baltimore offense only averaging 100 yards per game. That is 9th best in the SFL. They are already up to 78 tonight. They feed Gaines again, and up the middle, Gaines is going to pick up 4 more. Tim Johnston taking over this Baltimore Vultures team after owning the Baltimore Crabs. 45 and 33 from there. He is 73 and 44 all time with the two franchises combined as an owner. And that is good for 3rd most wins as an SFL owner. Mike Dazzo looking for the end zone shot. He's got it, and Baltimore retakes the lead just that quick. It's a shot to Bishop Warfield, and he has his 5th career playoff touchdown.
And Bishop Warfield, he has come out with authority on this particular drive. He had that first play right from the gun to get them the big chunk play to start things off. And then this one, again, just beats his man off the line into the corner of the end zone. Easy touchdown pass there.
And there is the chat reacting to the Warfield catch. A 5-play, 70-yard drive and a 16-yard touchdown pass to Bishop Warfield in the corner. And I tell you what, Eric, this Baltimore team wasted no time. When I talked to Mark Chisholm prior to the game, he said, they can't afford to get behind in a game like this, and they've been behind nearly all night.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been back and forth and back and forth. Atlanta struggling to kind of keep up here. And that's really what Baltimore does to a lot of these teams here in the SFL and why they've gotten 10 wins in the regular season.
You can follow the SFL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at SimulationFL on all platforms. If you head over now to Twitter or Instagram, you can see the amazing touchdown grab last night that ended last night's game. Won't say which way, just in case you haven't had the chance to see it yet, but Eric, it's must-see television.
Mind blown.
Well, while I wasn't going to give you the score of last night's game, now I will. Spoiler alert. The Seattle Tyrants beat Alaska, and they move on, and they await the winner of this game. In the other side, Denver and Tallahassee are all set for their semifinal game. Those two teams, the only franchises besides Alaska who have played in championship games in the last 3 years. So only one of them can make it to the championship game. So we will see a returner in the SFL championship as Boo Chisholm makes the catch for 9.
Yeah, and that was an interesting play there, Andy. Looks like there were a couple different receivers that got free on those out routes. Boo Chisholm, the outside guy, getting free. So just an easy pitch and catch there. Looked like Baltimore just gave him a good amount of cushion off the line there.
3 wide receivers wide on 2nd and 1. Chance to take a shot for Dunhill. He will take a shot, and it's caught! Oh, Jamal Wooding is putting on a clinic.
Andy, he knew that you were going to talk about him tonight as we get another look. Honestly, this wasn't a great ball by Dunhill, but that's why you have a great tight end like Jamal Wooding to come back to the football and beat the defender there and make sure you come down with the football. As we get a look at his stats there, 1,106 receiving yards. That's the most among tight ends in the SFL.
Well, and that's coming into tonight's game, where he also has added 59 to that total. Handoff Hollywood, and this is how Atlanta gets you. They go back and forth between the run and the pass.
Yeah, and again, so many different weapons that you can go to. You've got Siege Falco, you've got Jamal Wooding, and you got Boo Chisholm all through the air. And then, oh, by the way, you've got BDG Hollywood who can do it on the ground and through the air. So you really don't know where the offense is going to be coming from, and that's the challenging part for any defense playing the Swarm.
2 backs in the backfield, Hollywood dotting the I. They give to Hollywood, and he is stuffed. Coming right up the middle was Joe Dazzo on a big play along with Cyron Yates the 4th.
Yeah, and that was a great play by the Baltimore defense, getting in there and stuffing that immediately, especially after BDG got a good chunk on that first down play. It ends up being 3rd and 5.
Trips to the bottom of the screen for Dunhill, looking to throw, fires. Oh, falling down and makes the catch. Boo Chisholm, what a play. And he adds to his playoff total, had 224 yards coming into the game, and what a catch there, his 3rd of the night.
Yeah, and hats off to Marcus Dunhill. This was a well-placed football. Hats off to Boo Chisholm for recognizing where the football is going as he's coming out of his break, falling to the ground and making sure that he has possession of the football. Great play.
You know what they say, Eric. It's spooky season, and Boo is coming out to get you. Marcus Dunhill, short drop, fires to Falco on the out route. Falco picks up another 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4 at the 26.
And again, talked about it a little bit with Baltimore. Same thing with Atlanta, keeping the offense ahead of schedule. 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3s. Those type of downs, those type of situations will end up being successful for your ball club.
Under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Dunhill, short drop off the shotgun snap. Fires it out to Hollywood on the outside. Hollywood picks up a couple, making good of a bad situation. It'll be 3rd and 3.
A great coverage play by the Baltimore Vultures on that last one there. That was why Marcus Dunhill there had to check it down to Hollywood because there was literally no one else to get it to, and great pursuit there to make sure he didn't get any huge yardage off of it.
This the 30th play of Atlanta's game tonight. They're 2 of 4 on third down. Dunhill, short drop, throws down the middle, tipped up, and that is incomplete. All of Baltimore's defense almost had a hand on it. It falls incomplete, though. Mutombo was the one who applied the pressure, and Miraculous will come on for his second field goal attempt.
Yeah, it's almost as if the defense didn't know who wanted to actually pick off the football. You got it. No, you got it. You take it. No. So, but great pressure by the defensive front seven to get in there and cause the incompletion there by Dunhill.
Miraculous, 2 of 3 in last game. He is 1 of 1 tonight. This one from 40, a little bit longer than his first one. It's on the way, and good. 13-17. Atlanta cuts back into that Baltimore lead, and they seem to have an answer every time Baltimore scores, Eric.
And that's going to be the key here for Atlanta to keep themselves afloat, keeping them close. 4-point ball game right now. You know, you kick the ball off to start things off. You're going to get the football in the second half. See what happens here as the 2-minute warning looms and see if maybe you can keep Baltimore off the board. Maybe get a 2-for-1 here, get some points on the board, and then get the ball in the second half.
Atlanta kicked off to start the game, so they are looking for a stop here. Bolt, good return out to the 34. And if you are looking for some apparel and possibly to wear your own jersey, you can head over to Sector 6, the official SFL apparel provider, sector6apparel.com. You can get jackets, hoodies, uniforms, flags, as well as SFL gear. Eric, I have my own jersey, and they're absolutely wonderful. Some of the best material that I've ever worn. First down play for Dazzo from the 34. Hits the out route there. Nice catch and run by Daly Holder. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Baltimore on top. We'll be right back. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Vultures Field here in Baltimore, Maryland, the scene of tonight's quarterfinal action. 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Andy Hamilton along with Eric Vinson, Mark Lopez on stats, Cameron Irvine in the production truck. Handoff here to T-Roy Gaines with a whole field of room, and T-Roy Gaines looks like he's taking a stroll in the park, and he's down to the 43.
Yeah, T-Roy rumbling into opponent's territory here. Very good run. No one really seeing a run play on that second down play. And just a great job by T-Roy just taking what the defense is giving him there.
And when you are in the 2-minute offense, you don't expect many runs, but here in Baltimore, you got to feed T-Roy any way you can. Flip out to Warfield, first down to the 33. This Baltimore team is in attack mode.
And Warfield, who was pivotal on that last touchdown drive, in fact, caught the 16-yard touchdown pass from Dazzo, still making plays out there, plunging forward to get the extra 1.5 yards for the first down.
Dazzo, 13 of 17 for 125 yards so far in this game. QBR of 135.7. Oh! T-Roy Gaines crushed! Second and 9. Dazzo out route caught by Warfield. No, out of bounds.
Ooh, I don't know about that one, Andy. That one looked a little... I'm thinking that they might get a booth review here.
There it is. The booth review will be made. And Eric, you know as well as I, sometimes these sideline catches are hard to see in real time. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, in real time, Andy, I thought he got it. That's why I reacted the way I did. And it certainly looks that way from the replay as well.
It'll depend on when he got his hands on the ball and had possession. Let's see what Ref 62 has to say, and he will rule that inbounds. Mark Chisholm not happy about it, but they will overturn the call, and I think it's the right one.
Yeah, absolutely. And bang bang play. It's hard to kind of see in real time. Sometimes it's why we have the booth review and the challenge opportunities for these teams. And that was a good use of the instant replay there. Brings up 3rd and short.
Baltimore, the number 2 seed, lost to Alaska last season on the Storm's road to the championship, trying to write their own passage here tonight. Dazzo, short throw, quick, in and out of the hands of the receiver. G.R. Malone could not haul it in, and it was almost picked off.
And that's a crusher right there. You can see he's wide open on the slant route, and a great play call by the Vultures as well to just get the couple yards that they need. And man, oh man, you got to bring those in if you're going to win the football game. So we'll see a Shark Tarkington field goal attempt instead.
37 seconds left. It's a 4th-and-2 attempt from Tarkington. Made his earlier attempt, now 6 of 6. Perfect in the playoffs, and will look to add another one to that resume. Tarkington, the kick is on the way, and it is good from 42. Now a 7-point lead again for Baltimore. Eric Dazzo, a good drive down the field, and unfortunately, Malone could not hold on to continue that drive.
Yeah, agreed. But watching this football game, it certainly looks like Baltimore has the momentum right now. It's not thriving momentum by any stretch of the imagination, but it certainly looks like they've got control of the ball game currently.
This Atlanta team has struggled against some of the top competition in the Simulation Football League, as you see some of their games there off to the left, but proving they belong tonight here against Baltimore, only down by 7. Eric, with 28 seconds, what's your game plan going into the half here?
Yeah, Atlanta's been hanging tough. They've been going back and forth with Baltimore here. 28 seconds, all 3 timeouts. I say maybe try a sideline go route. See if maybe you can get something kind of going out of bounds. I would not throw anything in the middle of the field against the secondary, though.
I think maybe get a screen to Hollywood going, see if you can get him moving in the pass game a little bit. He's got 3 catches for 11 yards. They flip an out route there to Falco. He'll pick up 3 and get his hand out of bounds to stop the clock. There's a quarterback comparison for you. Dunhill, a few more yards, but Dazzo clean so far. Baltimore winning the turnover battle.
And winning the turnover battle is key to any ball game, really. So that's looking good for Baltimore so far. And honestly, maybe that little 3-yard out route, maybe they just kind of needed to get their feet wet here, did Atlanta, for this final drive of the half.
1 back in the backfield, 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen here. They've hit some big plays out of this formation earlier. They will throw the out route to Chisholm. Chisholm gets out of bounds and a first down to the 28. They've eaten about 8 seconds off of the timer and have been able to get 10.
Yeah, it's certainly not what you were necessarily looking for, as we get a look at Boo Chisholm's yards per catch, 17.4. That's good for 4th in the SFL. Again, one of the top receivers in the SFL and one of the leaders on this swarm team in general.
Dunhill, deep drop, pressure coming, has to unload, almost throws a pick, and Baltimore would have had open lane right in front of Kaz McFly, and they've talked about staying away from these elite corners. Well, they tested one there.
Yeah, and Kaz McFly is the one you don't want to pick on. Lead interceptor in the SFL with 10 in the regular season, and they don't call it the no McFly zone for a reason.
They're 6-1, Baltimore is, when Kaz McFly has an interception. So pretty good odds when he picks the ball off. Could not get his hands around that one. Dunhill, out route there to Chisholm. Chisholm turns upfield, spins inbounds. I'm surprised Atlanta's not using a timeout there at the 40.
Yeah, 100% agree, and they're going to burn one here finally. Might be within Hail Mary range, but yeah, this clock management on this final drive is less than desired, I believe, here, Andy.
Atlanta gave up 28 sacks in the regular season. You need good protection if you're going to try the Hail Mary. Dunhill does have the arm for it, has the was number 1 in the SFL in terms of yards per attempt coming into the playoffs, 8 yards per throw. And we'll see what he's got here tonight. 18 of 27, completing 66% of his passes. We'll line him up here, down by 7. Atlanta does get the ball out of the break. Dunhill pumps, pressured, evades one, and then will go down. He has ended up sacked by Chad Rowland, the Week 7 rookie signing, and that will take us to the halftime break. 7-point lead for the home team, Baltimore Vultures. The 10-2 Vultures lead at the break, and Eric, it was a back-and-forth battle, and I tell you what, I don't think we're done with this one.
No, we're certainly not done with this one as we get a look at the halftime stats here. Pretty even, in fact, a dead even in total yardage. Time of possession, very even. And Andy, you touched on it earlier. Turnover battle. Baltimore winning the turnover battle currently. And honestly, they scored 7 points off of that turnover that they got. So that is the difference in the ballgame currently.
Yeah, and Baltimore actually way above average in terms of run yards per game. That's the one thing that sticks out to me, Eric, is that T. Roy Gaines has really proven tonight, that he is a good running back against playoff teams, despite what we saw in the regular season, and that he's ready to go come playoff time. 97 yards on 12 attempts with that one touchdown catch you see there, and a touchdown run to boot. Hollywood, on the other hand, has looked somewhat human. 5 attempts for 55 yards, 3 receptions for 11 yards. They've really held him in check.
They have held him in check, and that's been a huge key to the success of Baltimore so far, is that BDG, with the exception of that 43-yard run that you saw earlier there, really only getting 12 yards on the ground after that. So great job by the Baltimore defense so far, and great job just by the team overall, putting together a solid game plan, really just trying to force the Atlanta Swarm into finding different ways in order to beat them, and beat them at home on top of that.
And for the Atlanta Swarm, this is their the last time they were in the playoffs, Eric, was season 9. They went 7-5 that season, and they went to the semifinals where they lost to Chicago. Chicago ended up losing to Mexico City, so we're just 1 game away from the championship. Eric, they're trying to do the same thing tonight, but they got to overcome a 7-point deficit and the number 2 seed in the SFL. Do you think, from what you've seen, that they have the juice to pull it off?
Oh, I definitely think they have the juice to pull it off. Coming into this game, this was one of the games that I was most looking forward to in the quarterfinals, because these two teams, they both have the ability to show off some fireworks, and both have the ability, I think, to win championships. But at Atlanta, again, they really have to overcome the turnover bug, and Marcus Dunhill has got to be better with the football here in the second half. I also think they should probably get BDG Hollywood involved a little bit more. Hasn't really gotten a ton of touches, and he is the key to making their offense click.
It's anyone's game. 11 minutes on the clock in the third quarter, and we are back underway from Baltimore, Maryland. The teams head to the locker room, get a little bit of a conversation, and we are just about ready to go here for this second half of action. Remember, if you're new to the league, the winner here in the quarterfinals will head on to take the number 3 seed Seattle. It will either be in Seattle if Atlanta were to get the win, or right here in Baltimore, Maryland, if the Baltimore Vultures get the win. And then the SFL Championship on October 30th. 8 p.m. is kickoff, 7:30 is pregame. You are not going to want to miss that as we crown a new champion for the first time in 4 seasons. Flipping it out here for BDG Hollywood. He will get 2 yards, and Eric, they try and get him involved here early in this second half.
Yeah, and trying to find different ways to get him involved as well, not necessarily just handing it off right up the middle or anything like that. But again, Baltimore ready for it, coming out in a good defensive look, making sure that BDG is bottled up, and he only gets maybe 1.5 yards or so on that play.
Yeah, and they really need to get him in some open field here in the second half, and might be some room up to the top of the formation. Maybe that's what Dunhill sees as well. Yes, indeed. It is Hollywood off the top side. He has a first down. Eric, I don't know if I've turned into Tony Romo yet, but I tell you what, I know a thing about some open field.
No, that was a great call there, and I was seeing the same thing that you were. Nobody really up towards the top. It almost makes me wish I had a telestrator. We need to work on that. But just circle that big old open field up there. No one up there, and Dunhill recognizing it. Hats off to him and getting Hollywood the ball.
I tell you what, Eric, back when it was just Cameron Irvine and I calling games, I actually had a telestrator for one game. I made one up on my iPad, and it worked for one game, and then after that, I never used it again because no one even thought it was cool. But hey, I tell you what, I sure thought it was cool. 5-yard pickup.
Cool.
That carry was pretty cool from Hollywood. He's able to get out to the 42, and anytime you can pick up 5 yards, you're ahead of the chains.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, ahead of schedule, keeping your offense ahead of schedule. These 2nd and 5s, that'll definitely do it for them. Certainly getting the ball to BDG Hollywood, your playmaker on this offense, will do it for you as well.
3 receivers split out on a tight end flex. Tight end flex is the formation they give to Hollywood. He is dropped, and it'll bring up 3rd and 4. Well played there on the outside by Chad Rowland along with Joe Dazzo. Dazzo, the old man, getting up a little slow there.
Yeah, having to do some extra stretches, make sure that all the limbs are working possible, a little cracking going on, sounding like Jiffy Pop the way he moves. But no, great defense there by the Vultures, making sure that they bottled them up. They were stacking the box there on that last play.
3rd and 4, Dunhill fires to a wide open Siege Falco. Man, Dunhill had to throw that one with some tempo, and it got there.
Yeah, this was certainly a saucy throw here by Dunhill. Really only waited about a half a second or so, waited for Siege to just make his break, and man, he had plenty of room there right in front of the defense, made the catch, perfect throw.
New set of downs here from the 42. Dunhill, 21 of 30 tonight, 70% on his passes, 6.8 yards per attempt. They've cut that number down from the regular season. Out route there is caught, and we talked about that a little bit earlier, Eric, is for Atlanta to win this game, they can't take as many shots at those safeties for Baltimore.
No, and I think Dunhill has actually recognized that as well, and they might have possibly made some adjustments, Mark Chisholm and his staff, on the offensive end to keep from throwing those deep balls against this secondary because, man, oh man, you're not going to get it across those safeties.
Handoff Hollywood. Hollywood able to pick up a couple, wasn't able to get past Giovanni Bolt. And that's a really good tackle because it looked like Hollywood might be able to break that one.
And just as I'm talking about these safeties, Giovanni Bolt, he does it all. He comes in here, run stop, pass defense. He does the whole 9. That's why, he's got a championship under his belt.
That's Tony Willis, actually, who has the
Tony Willis, I'm sorry.
Don't be handing out championships just yet, Eric. Hand off to Hollywood, and he is dropped in the backfield. It's a good play by Dazzo along with Chad Rowland to make the stop. And this Baltimore team, who has not lost at home since February, is going to make a big 3rd down play here and forced Atlanta into a punt from Otis Jenkins.
Yeah, that's a great stat there. 11-0 at home since February 11th. That's a lot of 11s there. Great job at home, obviously.
Oh, what a play! Sorry to cut you off, but talk about the special teams play there on the side of the ball for Atlanta. Sean McGee down there in a hurry. Look at this catch.
Man, and he avoids the slide play that we see so often down here when trying to nail them back in the corner here. And a great job for spotting the football, turning around, pivoting. I mean, just locating the football in that way and downing it at the 5.
Backed up against their own goal line. Hand off to Gaines. Oh, Gaines beheaded by a Qantas Shine. Shine's 3rd tackle for loss in the playoffs in his career.
And that's a bad man. You don't want to mess with a Qantas Shine as he comes zorching upfield and tackles T-Roy for a loss. Great play.
Zorching, that's a new adjective there. And
gonna trademark it.
Tell your friends. I don't know what it means, but Shine did it. And now T-Roy Gaines zorching up the middle for 9.
And that's what can happen here. T-Roy hasn't had a ton of success as he's going up the middle of the field, but this is a great trap play, good blocking up front, and he got a good chunk, about 10 there.
Qantas Shine 8 tackles against Tulsa, trying to repeat that here in this game against Atlanta. Baltimore holds on to a 7-point lead, and they stuff the Swarm after a long drive, and now Gaines returns the favor with a long run up to the 25.
And as we get a look there, averaging 7.4 yards per carry is T-Roy Gaines. And again, good blocking up front there. Looks like the defense kind of bit in on the inside a little bit too much as T-Roy bounces it off tackle and is able to split that would-be tackler and get the extra yardage for the first down.
Mark Chisholm, good friends with Shan Varner. We'll get a little bit into that connection here after this next play. Dazzo, shotgun snap, pressure coming, drop. Joshua Williams' third career playoff sack, second of tonight's game. This only his second playoff game, but Eric, this Atlanta defense is built up of some players that came over from Chicago. Dylan Rowland played in Chicago along with Blake Hamrack and Blake Chance, who got his start in Carolina when Varner was a coach there. So I don't know if Mark Chisholm and Shan Varner could get any closer, but 3 defensive members on this team coming from that Shan Varner system.
Yeah, and it's a great system to come from, especially defensively. So a great squad here defensively for the Swarm.
Dazzo fires, caught right at the sticks. They're going to tackle Holder an inch shy of the line to gain. Aaron Lee with a big hit.
Man, and I think Daly Holder would have had the first down here had it not been for the crunching hit there. And yeah, just great play there. Way to get upfield by Aaron Lee and make sure he didn't get the first down.
Well, it's a big play. It'll be even bigger if Baltimore can't gain a yard right here, and Atlanta would get the ball back. It's a heavy formation with Gaines in the backfield. They like to throw screens out of this formation, and they will try to. No, they're going to float it across the middle, and that is a first down catch. They're right up the middle of the field. It's a big one to Tyrone Means, the tight end.
And maybe just a little bit of unexpected space. I don't think Dazzo was expecting that much room for his tight ends coming off the line there. So just kind of tossed one over there. Here, big fella, go get it. And got a good chunk of yards.
They've only thrown Gaines 4 screens tonight, which is a little bit odd. So they've found some other ways to make it work. Late blitz coming. Dazzo unloads underneath. And that is the first catch of the night for Lloyd Graham Jr. I was excited, Eric, to talk about 2 good tight ends in this game, but Graham Jr. has been relatively silent tonight.
Yeah, and Graham Jr., he's one of those deceptive targets. Like, he'll have huge games and then he'll have quiet ones. Just about 600 yards receiving, 6 receiving touchdowns, 11.4 yards per reception. That's a good chunk play right there waiting to happen.
Trap play to Gaines. Gaines with room after a spin, and he is out to the 36. Just when Baltimore lulls you into some passing game, they go with T-Roy Gaines up the middle.
Yeah, nothing flashy about the last few plays as we get a look at the referee's inseam there. A great spin move, though, by T-Roy Gaines. And, man, he turned on the afterburners from the get-go. Made sure that he had plenty of room and plenty of yards for the first down.
And that takes T-Roy Gaines up over 100 yards rushing. Had 3 games under 100 yards, now back over that mark. And it's a big mark for him as he helps his team here into Atlanta territory. Shotgun snap here for Dazzo. Throwing. That one is caught across the middle of the field. And Edward Morgan moves the ball up to the 27. And you just got to feel, Eric, that this Atlanta defense needs some type of break here on this drive.
Yeah, they are reeling a little bit on this drive. Just cannot come up with anything to solve this Baltimore offense currently, and they're struggling right now.
2 receivers split out. Trap play to Gaines off the right side. A sweep, and Gaines is up to the 8-yard line on a big run. They brought that extra lineman out to block for Gaines, and he's loving it right now, Eric. He is doing good.
Yeah, perfect call. As we get another look here, hat on hat again, extra tight end, Daly Holder getting out there doing the dirty work as well, and T-Roy again zorching upfield. Andy,
Ty Jordan with a good seal block there, the tight end. It's going to set up this first and goal from the Baltimore 8. Dazzo 16 of 21 tonight for 2 touchdowns. T-Roy gains 18 attempts for over 140 yards. Dazzo floats one back corner, tipped. Oh, it almost was intercepted. And Eric, if Dylan Rowland would have had his hands on that, this would have just flipped the game on its head.
Oh man, yeah, that was a clincher right there. Like you're just watching it. Ooh, like you're just waiting for Dylan Rowland to take that back, and honestly take it back the other way because I don't think anyone was necessarily expecting him to come down with an interception.
2nd and goal. Baltimore lives to fight another day. 2:29 to go here in the third from the 8. Shotgun snap to Dazzo. Dazzo floats the out route, and Warfield does not catch it in bounds. That looked like the play from the first half there, Eric.
Oh man, yeah, I'm not sure on that one, Andy.
I don't know
We've
if he
had
challenged, though, this early in the half.
no, I
Oh,
don't
they
think. He
do.
Oh wow,
Tim Johnston will throw the flag here on a play that is, this is the other part, Eric, is it's not going to score them any points necessarily. It gets them
right.
closer, and yes, you have T-Roy, but it doesn't automatically put points on the board. The only way that I would have challenged this if he was in the end zone. But let's take a look here. He looked inbounds, and this one, it depends again on when he got his hands on the ball.
Yeah, it looks like he got the catch, but again, you hit the nail on the head. He's not going to score this play.
And that is going to be overturned. Baltimore is going to get up to the 1-yard line. No timeout charge, but it is still going to be 3rd and 1. And the stop that Atlanta is looking for. If this defense can come up with one tackle short of the goal line, Eric, it's going to be huge.
And honestly, I would argue that maybe you want a little bit more space. You don't necessarily want to be up on the 1 yard line.
Well, you
A
might
little
as
bit
well
more
run it
space.
against this nickel defense.
Oh,
Whether you're in
yes.
split backs or not, you better run it up the middle. No, Dazzo to throw. Dazzo pressured. He's going to throw, and it's knocked away at the last second. I can't believe the decision. Darrent Williams, the 5'11 cornerback, with the deflection, and I cannot believe the choice of not handing it off to Gaines.
Oh man, Andy, this is what I was talking about. And you almost would rather having a little bit more space, especially if you're going to call a pass play in that particular situation. Oh man.
Eric, I don't think a play has reminded me more of that Super Bowl call, the
Oh,
infamous
yes.
one that we all know of, where the team that was on offense decided to go based on the defense's personnel. They threw it at the goal line and they didn't get it. That was very similar. And that just shows you how close this league is to real life. 23-13, Baltimore takes a 10-point lead with 2:19 to go in the third. The Simulation Football League on 11. We'll be right back. Baltimore, Maryland. Andy Hamilton along with Eric Vincent, along with Mark Lopez on the live stats team, and Cameron Irvine back in the production truck, making all the beautiful graphics go, as well as keeping us on track here. 11 Sports, the scene of tonight's Simulation Football League quarterfinal game. If you're sitting at home and wondering what you're watching, this is the Simulation Football League, the opportunity for you to become a professional football player and go from couch to field. You can bank your progression each week to build your draft value, and you can become a rookie. All of the players on the field are real players at home watching this game. You can do so as well and get on the live draft on Saturday, December 14th at 8 Eastern right here on 11 Sports to have your name called out live on TV. Hollywood off the left side with room. Good run from Hollywood to start this drive.
Good tough run by BDG Hollywood as he gets plenty of yardage out there to move the sticks. Good play of maybe 13 or 14, and good blocking up front. You making the defensive back miss one-on-one there, dragging him along for maybe another yard and a half. That's exactly what you want to see from your power back.
And it just feels like Atlanta needs a touchdown on this drive. And if they get it, I tell you what, Eric, momentum might be more in their fashion than Baltimore's, just with kind of the way that Atlanta's defense has been playing. Quick throw, that too low there for Chisholm, actually hits off the shin bone there of Tony Willis.
Yeah, and I would agree with you, Andy, because and we talked about this a little bit. Baltimore has the momentum. It's certainly not glaring at this point. You can't say, oh, without a doubt, Baltimore's got this one in the bag. Atlanta, a touchdown on this drive would go a long way towards shifting the momentum in this ball game.
Yeah, they're right there. They've just been hanging out. Free play here. Dunhill takes a deep shot. It's picked off there, and I think that one will come back, Eric.
Yeah, I think so as well. And that's exactly what you want to do on this free play, recognizing that the defense jumped off sides. Go ahead and throw a deep shot, see if you can get it.
Man, Eric, I tell you what, that play could not have. It wouldn't have decided the game, but here's the stat, Eric. Hendricks Thornberry, that would have been his first playoff career interception. When Hendricks Thornberry has an interception, the Baltimore Vultures are 5-0 this season. If that play would not have been offsides and he would have made the pick, Baltimore almost would have been a shoo-in to win based on history. Instead, it's a 2nd and 5 carry by Hollywood. Oh, what a run. He had blockers, and that one is lucky for Baltimore that it didn't go the distance.
Yeah, 100% here. And again, great play call by the Atlanta coaching staff. Great run by BDG, just following his blockers right up the middle of the field. And he has come out to play here on this drive. And Andy, that stat from about Hendricks Thornberry earlier, man, oh man, especially being up 2 scores at this point, gosh.
Flip out to Hollywood. Hollywood with room has the first down to the 37 before Bolt shoves him out of bounds. And like we said, they're getting Hollywood going a little bit more, which is what you need here if you're Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Atlanta is kind of recognizing that a little bit more, getting their power back. Their big time offensive playmaker, the football in any way, shape, or form they can.
5 wide against the 3-2 defense. Baltimore has extra defensive backs on the field. Dunhill to throw. Out route is caught by Chisholm, and Boo Chisholm picks up 4. Eric, it was a quick moving third quarter. Baltimore was able to add some points and go up by 10, and that will take us to the end. Get your 4s up in the chat. We have 11 minutes on the clock to decide who is the final team to make it to the semifinals and have their dreams of an SFL championship remain intact. Simulation Football League on 11 will be right back for the 4th and final frame. Fourth quarter here in Baltimore, Maryland. Eric, this Baltimore defense has stood the test here late in this game. They have stopped Atlanta on a couple deep, long drives, and they are trying to do so again here on 2nd and 6. Handoff here to Hollywood with blockers. Hollywood has the first down. It's a great carry and a big first down.
Yeah, BDG Hollywood finally hitting the century mark here in this ball game off of 12 carries. Great stat line. And again, going back to the Baltimore defense, they bend, but they don't break usually. Middle of the line as far as numbers go, 12th in pass yards per game, 13th in rush yards per game allowed, 11th total yards per game allowed. It's all just very mediocre stat lines, but they still have won 10 games. So they will go ahead and put up big numbers, but they will not give up a whole lot of points.
And off Hollywood up the middle, a little bit of a stop and go, and Hollywood is able to pick up 3, and they only give up 23 points per game on the defensive side, and that's big for this Baltimore defense here to get, if they could get a stop here. For more information, and if you want to join the SFL, head over to simulationfl.net. Join our Discord server. There you can talk football and become a player in the league. Dunhill flips it out to Hollywood. Hollywood cannot get past the first defender. Great open field tackle by Kaz McFly.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Andy. That was a very impressive open field tackle there by Kaz McFly, getting in there, making sure that the big back did not get any extra yardage or any yardage for that matter on him.
Important 3rd and 7. Atlanta tonight, 3 of 7, 42.9% here on 3rd down, 4 wide with a tight end on the line for Dunhill. Dunhill pressured, has to get rid of it. Caught! Jamal Wooding, the tight end to the 12.
This guy has been there all game for Marcus Dunhill. Anytime he needed a big play, Jamal Wooding has been there. Excuse me, 5th catch there, 79 yards off of 9 targets.
15 yards per catch tonight for Jamal Wooding. 3 receivers wide for Dunhill in an I formation. He's going to take a deep drop. He throws. That one is caught on a one-on-one. Wooding picked it right off of the head of Cyron Yates IV.
And that's the 2nd time he's done something like that today on a very similar route, in fact, just coming up towards his quarterback, snatching the football out of the air and using every bit of his tall frame to get up there, 6'6", 255.
Long drive here for Atlanta. They would love to cap it off with some points. Dunhill, shotgun snaps, stands in the pocket, delivers, caught! Severus Sativa, his 2nd touchdown of the game!
Man, oh man, is this deja vu? This looks exactly like the other touchdown pass that we had earlier in the ball game. Again,
same play, 50XZ deep outs. And
yes, there you
the
go.
hook route right there is just open.
Yeah, Giovanni Bold bites hard going on that crossing route away from the play, and that leaves it wide open. The hitch wide open.
Weapons, Eric. When you have weapons, when you have 3 star receivers, the defense has to account for it, and it leaves guys like Severus Sativa open on the hook routes in that 50XZ deep bounce play. Extra point is up and good. It's a 3-point lead for Baltimore here in Maryland. 8:27 to go in the 4th. We'll be right back. Back here in Baltimore, Maryland, and if you're just tuning in and wondering how I was able to diagnose that play, the SFL has teams of coaching staffs that break down film in order to provide a game plan that will be effective against the opponent in any given week. While users improve their players week to week, owners and coaches try and improve their teams week to week. As Giovanni Bolt is getting loose here on the bottom of the screen out to the 42. Big carry by him, but Eric, I'm a coach for my team, and 50XZ deep bounce is a play that I have seen time and time again. And believe it or not, Eric, that was actually the play call in the Seattle game from last night's deep touchdown to give the Seattle Tyrants the win. And we're seeing it here working for Atlanta as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did a little bit of coaching actually when I was with the Atlanta Swarm, helping out with the defensive coordinator duties a little bit. And I certainly recognize a few of the formations. I don't have extensive experience like you do, but yeah, this is how you kind of recognize these things.
Hand off Gaines. Gaines able to fight through one, and Gaines brought down after a 5-yard pickup. And Eric, that just feels like it could be the difference is T-Roy Gaines picking up yards consistently. If Atlanta can't get off the field here, especially with the good starting field position, they might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And Baltimore, I think, kind of recognizes that a little bit as we creep underneath 8 minutes to go here in the ball game. They might want to run the clock a little bit here.
Shotgun look here for Dazzo. Takes the little bit of a high snap. Going to throw the out route at the top of the screen. No. And that was out of bounds. Warfield, another catch on the sideline. He got away with 2, not a 3rd.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to say it if you didn't.
Look, no. And if TJ throws the flag, I'm jumping on the field. Eric, I'm coming out of the booth. I'm going down. I'm going to have a word with that man.
Get down, Andy. No, don't do it.
Oh man, that was well out of bounds. I mean, we'll see on the replay here, and I'll let you fans at home decide what you think, and you can let us know at twitch.tv/11sportsnext whether you thought he was in or out. But look at this. That's well out. Well out. I thought the heel was the first thing that made contact, and we'll take a look. The play is going to stand. TJ is going to lose a timeout. And Eric, that's really important here late down the stretch is those timeouts, but also the fact that that's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, and I'm with you there, Andy. That was a bit of a head scratcher as far as the challenge goes. So, not 100% sure why you throw the red flag on that one. Lose timeout on top of everything else, and it's a third down.
3rd and 5. Dazzo deep shot down the field, deflected and no good. Atlanta is able to get a stand. Dylan Rowland had a hand on it, could not make the interception, but it won't matter. The Swarm are going to get the ball back.
And again, a very impressive play by the safeties. We had one similar to this in the back of the end zone when Baltimore was trying to score on their last drive, batting it into the waiting hands of Dylan Rowland. So twice now, not able to complete the tip drill. But you're right, Andy. Baltimore's going to get the ball back, only down by 3 and plenty of time left.
Atlanta is going to get the ball back, and they, on their last drive, were able to drive down the field, not with ease, but Eric, but they felt like they were in control of that drive. It wasn't necessarily dictated by the defense. They definitely felt like they had a plan in line. Sativa will take the fair catch at the 19. Just over 80 yards stand between Atlanta and potentially taking the lead. We'll be right back in Baltimore, Maryland for the quarterfinals of the SFL playoffs. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 is brought to you in part by Nation's Best Football, helping NFL, college, high school, and youth players to secure the bag. By ScoreStream, official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, custom esports jerseys and apparel and the exclusive SFL shop provider. And by SpyGoat, dedicated to the craft of audio. Aerial shots brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit AIRVUZ.com to see more drone footage. Back here in Baltimore, Maryland, a 3-point game awaits us with 7:34 to go in the fourth, and the Atlanta Swarm have the ball. Check down here to Hollywood. Oh! Rocked in the backfield. Kaz McFly, a huge tackle for loss to start this drive.
All right, ladies and gents, you know what to do. Go ahead and press F to pay your respects in the chat as we get a look at Kaz McFly, who just absolutely annihilates BDG Hollywood. 10 interceptions this season, leads the league. And man, oh man, like
The
this
four
guy, just
the
one of the
four
best
cloud
corners.
defense was the call, and what that does is it floats one of your cornerbacks down into that zone to take away the screen, and McFly jumped off of Hollywood enough to bait him into throwing it. Hollywood bobbled, incomplete, in and out of the hands, and you just saw Dazzo waiting for the ball, and that could have been disaster.
Man, and yeah, we're looking at everybody react to it in the chat here as poor BDG. I think Prodigy Punk hit the nail on the head. He's concussed. He couldn't grab onto the football at all. He's wondering where he is right now.
3rd and long here. If you're Atlanta, you might just settle for something underneath and punt the ball away, considering how far you got to go. Bump press out of the Baltimore defense. Out route thrown, caught, turning upfield. Oh, Chisholm has the first down on 3rd and 13. They tried to jump the route, and it went over the head. What a throw.
Greedy play here by Hendricks Wild Thornberry. Thought he could bat the football down there rather than trying to speed up and hit Boo Chisholm. Honestly, probably was the only play that he had available to him at that point since he was so out of position. But a great
Oh,
play.
my. And those are the plays that playoff and championship teams make, Eric. Just like Seattle last night with their winner when they needed it, those are the type of plays that championship teams find a way to make. Dunhill floats it out to Hollywood, just barely got it off. They will lose yards on that, though, as Lloyd makes the tackle.
Yeah, and Chad Rowland got in there and absolutely crunched Marcus Dunhill as he was getting rid of that screen pass there. Great play by the Baltimore defense. And man, Andy, you thought that Atlanta had the momentum here. Baltimore is amping it up right now on defense.
Yeah, I would agree. Bunch formation here from Dunhill. He floats across the middle. Oh! How in the world did Dunhill fit that in a window to Wooding?
Again, Andy, I'm going to request a telestrator so that I can count out the guys that were in that picture right there. There were about 7 black jerseys, I kid you not, in that area of Jamal Wooding, and somehow he comes up with the football. Amazing play by the tight end to extend the drive.
When the playoffs are alive, electricity rises, and here we are with 5:30 to go in the 4th. Dunhill gets rid of it and avoids the sack. Tucker Lewis was coming in.
Yeah, and good pressure, good penetration there by Tucker Lewis and the rest of the defensive front of the Vultures to provide pressure on Marcus Dunhill. Good call, just getting rid of the football there as he's getting sacked.
You can follow us on social media. It costs you nothing. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at SimulationFL. Tweet us. Let us know how you are catching the game, and we will respond. Hand off to Hollywood up the middle. Hollywood, a good solid run there to make this 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, wasn't anything flashy there, Andy, but BDG just following the blockers up the field, taking what he can get, and it was a good jump play of about 6 or 7 yards.
Important 3rd and 3 here. Just under 5 minutes. Atlanta seems comfortable letting time run off this clock. Dunhill, 7-step drop on 3rd and 3. Fires deep down the field. Incomplete. He was trying to hit Wooding. Went one too many times to the well. And, I don't know, 4:51. And it looks like they'll bring on Jenkins to punt.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like the play call there. Little greedy, ask me. Obviously, you're having success with over the middle of the field, not going deep. I totally understand wanting to go to Jamal Wooding deep on that play, but man, I probably would have held back on it for a little bit.
Jenkins with the punt. And it's going to be Bolt who will try a return. He will get out to the 17, and we will step aside. 4:43 to go in the 4th here from Baltimore when we return on the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Andy Hamilton along with Eric Vincent and Mark Lopez on stats here for this quarterfinal matchup. 4:43 to decide who will take on Seattle in the semifinals and try and punch their ticket to the SFL championship game here. You can use the hashtag SFL Playoffs on Twitter to let us know you're watching. Gazzo flips out here to Graham Jr. That's a 9-yard pickup, big throw. And if you look at the bracket, Tallahassee and Denver, one of those two teams will punch their championship ticket. Atlanta and Baltimore trying to get one step closer. Loser tonight goes home and ends their 13th season. And we'll start preparing for the 14th. 3-4 look out of this Atlanta defense. They're trying to stop T-Roy. He's been good on the screens from this formation. Sometimes they do go down the field to the tight end, though, but Dazzo taking all the time off the clock that he can. Flips out to T-Roy Gaines. Gaines with a first down and more, and he will be shoved out of bounds at the 36, and there is a player down, and that looks like an offensive lineman. Kirk Lawrence, the guard for the Baltimore Vultures. That an important member of this Baltimore Vultures offense, though, Eric, and I'll tell you why. He actually is the one who pulls the left guard on screens as well as trap plays and power plays, so run game might be affected here.
Yeah, 100%. And I was going to say the same exact thing. He was the guard that was pulling there, did a great job, actually, making sure that he at least got a little bit of the linebacker there. But I'm not sure exactly what happened on the play. Hopefully, he's all right and can return to action.
Could play a factor down the line here with 4:01 to go. Offset eye to the right. They will give to T-Roy, and he has a blocker off to the left-hand side. Will able to pick up 9, and the replacement, Frank Zimmerman, there was the one who pulled Eric, and as you saw, didn't actually block anyone.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Andy. Didn't really do much here, as you see him pulling, but just didn't really.
That's his guy right there. If he makes the block on Blake Chance, T-Roy Gaines might have had 10 more yards. A 9-yard carry is nothing to scoff at, but I'm just saying that injury to Lawrence might come to play factors. Oh, but they got a whole field of room here off to the right. You run a power O to the right-hand side, and this might be some trouble here, Eric, if Dazzo sees what I see. Handoff, Gaines up the middle. Gaines running backwards. They're going to give him the first down, and they did not run off tackle. Instead, they run up the middle, and Shine will bring him down.
Yeah, I saw the exact same thing you did, Andy, and I was getting antsy because it looked like they were lining up for that particular play. I'm not 100% sure why Dazzo didn't see that. He's been in the league long enough to see stuff like that. And man, oh man, they got the first down, though, so that's certainly minor victories here.
Offset to the left. Dazzo changing the play at the line against this 3-4 defense. Sees something he likes. 2 receivers to the top. That is Warfield and Holder. Handoff to Gaines. Gaines with room. Gaines into the open field. No one in front of him except for Aaron Lee, who brings him down at the 28, and he's shoved out of bounds there.
And honestly, Andy, this is a back-breaking play here for Atlanta. Just not being able to recognize that T-Roy was running off tackle towards the top of the screen. Didn't have anybody at home at all. And he gets into the third level of the defense easily and easily moves into opponent territory.
Gaines has only fumbled twice this season, so counting on that would be less likely. A throw here is caught. Big first down up to the 15. Throw and catch is made there, and what a throw it was.
Yeah, Tyrone Means, again, one of the extra tight ends in there. And I think they ran this play a little bit earlier in the ball game as well. And I think it was a similar result that they just weren't expecting Means to have that much separation off the line. Just tossed it over to him, and hey, you get a good chunk of yards. Andy, a touchdown here for Baltimore, it would be devastating for Atlanta's hopes.
I was just going to say, they need to hold them to a field goal. Atlanta with 2:07. They don't need to take a snap before the 2-minute warning. And they will not. 2 minutes to go here in Baltimore, Maryland. 23-20. The Vultures on top trying to close this one out. Atlanta trying to come from behind here. It's the Simulation Football League on 11. 2 minutes to go here. A 3-point difference between the Atlanta Swarm wearing blue and the Baltimore Vultures wearing black. If you're just tuning in, this is the Simulation Football League playoffs on 11 Sports. Three backs in the backfield, T-Roy Gaines. They will flip it out to him on this screen pass. Gaines brought down by the first man. That's an important tackle by Dylan Rowland. Only a gain of 2. Atlanta uses their first timeout.
Great recognition by the Atlanta defense getting in there, and great pursuit to the football as well.
They need to get the stop here. They are trying to win so that they can play the number 3 seed Seattle Tyrants. Baltimore trying to close this one out to force another game here at Vultures Field. One receiver to the bottom of the screen. They will dump it off to Gaines again down here on the bottom of the screen. Gaines clocked in the middle of the field. Atlanta bringing the hit stick, and they are definitely wanting this stop.
Yeah, just like we saw the Baltimore defense amp things up a little bit more, now it's the Swarm's turn to amp things up. And man, oh man, they want to eat right now. That was a huge hit and a great job to keep him in bounds, or a great job of staying in bounds, by Baltimore, so that they can burn another timeout.
Potentially the play of the game here on 3rd and 5. Give to Gaines, right up the middle. Gaines, first down run. Gaines into the end zone. Baltimore puts themselves up by 8. Big touchdown run. Actually, it's 9, and a huge T-Roy Gaines touchdown to give the Vultures the lead by a huge margin.
Big-time players make big-time plays, and that's exactly what T-Roy Gaines is as he rumbles through defenders to the end zone. No one was going to stop him on that play.
And with 1:46, that is going to make this very difficult for the Atlanta Swarm. We've seen stranger things happen, but now down by 10 with 1 and 46 seconds and only one timeout for Atlanta. They are going to have to hope for a miracle as the chat goes crazy over T-Roy Gaines. He is well respected in the community, well loved, and people like seeing him succeed.
Yeah, 100%. But obviously, we've seen something like this before. Got to be careful.
Kickoff from Baltimore will be returned by Sativa. Sativa going to bring it out of the end zone. Comes out across to the 20, so no harm, no foul, just some time off the clock. And for Atlanta, now they're going to have to push the ball down the field. This is something that Dunhill hasn't necessarily done tonight. 5.9 yards per attempt, completing 71% of his passes. But the early interception down the field is the dangerous ball here, Eric. One pick could end this thing.
And honestly, that's the difference right now. They scored a touchdown off of that turnover from Dunhill. So if not for that turnover, it's a 3-point ball game right now.
1st and 10 to open the drive. Dunhill's going to throw the out route to Chisholm. Chisholm turns back upfield, only picks up 1 and pays the price.
Big hit there, and not a great route there by Chisholm, having to come back to the football.
Shotgun snap to Dunhill, trying to keep the season alive. Floats one down the field. Oh, nearly taken away. Defense by Kaz McFly. Couldn't get his hands around it.
Yeah, a great one-on-one defense by McFly, making sure that he takes the football away from Siege Falco, and I'm sure that's what Dunhill saw on that play was the one-on-one, thinking he could get it to the big-time weapon.
Defense chant going around here. Vultures Field in Baltimore, Maryland. 4 receivers wide for Marcus Dunhill in the shotgun against a 3-2 defense. Late blitzer coming. Dunhill unloads. Oh, off the face mask of Sativa. For all the good he has done tonight, could not haul that one in.
Yeah, you said it, Andy. 2 touchdown grabs for Sativa. Great job overall tonight, and just doinks it off of the face mask there. Just could not hold on. Brings up a 4th down, and this is the ball game.
This play will decide whether Atlanta's season will end here in Baltimore or whether their hopes will remain alive for another 1 and 21 seconds. Dunhill is in the shotgun, and a 3-2 defense out of the Vultures. Low snap, out route, caught by Chisholm, tackled well short of the sticks. The play was not the right one, and Atlanta turns the ball over to Baltimore.
Yeah, and again, you said it, Andy, just not the right play call on 4th and 9 there. I understand wanting to go to Boot Chisholm, see if maybe he can make a play on the sideline and one-on-one coverage, but that's not what you were getting there. And Baltimore had an impressive pursuit to the football on defense. It just was not going to happen on that play.
A 10-point victory for the Baltimore Vultures. They will improve to 2-1 at home here in the playoffs. They will welcome the Seattle Tyrants here to Vultures Field in the next round of the SFL playoffs. And with Alaska out of the way, this Baltimore team is a contender. If we look at the bracket here, the number 5 Tallahassee team will be the lowest seed remaining. It'll be 2 versus 3 as Seattle and Baltimore do battle. And Denver, the number 1 seed, still alive with a big victory over Houston. As things so far are all leading up to a important championship, Eric, as we look to crown a new champion.
Yeah, new champion in 4 seasons here, which is super exciting. All 4 teams that are still in it, great ball clubs. All 4 of them could win a championship. We'll just have to see how the dice just kind of fall on the table.
For Atlanta, they have played quite the season. For Marcus Dunhill, it was his best season in terms of touchdown and interception ratio. He was 1 for 1 in that category. Number 1 in yards per attempt with 8.3, number 2 in yards in the league during the regular season. So for Atlanta, definitely nothing to go home too mad about. You had quite the year, and when it came down to Baltimore, I mean, they hung with them pretty much all night.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, Andy, because there is absolutely nothing to hang your head on. Um, if you're an Atlanta Swarm member or an Atlanta Swarm fan, your ball club just hung tough with the number 2 seed in the SFL, and Baltimore is no slouch. I mean, we have seen games where Baltimore just pours it on. So hats off to both teams. Great ball game. A great way to end the quarterfinals, and a great way to send us into next week with the semifinals.
30-20, Baltimore, a 10-point victory over the Atlanta Swarm here in Maryland. Andy Hamilton along with Eric Vinson. Thank you to Mark Lopez on stats and Cameron Irvine in the production truck behind us. And man, Eric, it was a wonderful game and a wonderful season's worth of Simulation League football, but there's still 3 games left.
Yeah, there are 3 games left, and man, oh man, we're gonna have a great 3 games, and we're gonna have 3 great commentary teams. 2 of them we'll call one we'll call 2 games, excuse me. But man, oh man, just I love this league, Andy. This is such a great league. I love being a part of this. I love being able to comment on these football games and watch these football games. Come on out and join us, guys. Like this really is a great opportunity to join a great community.
For those of you who love football, might want to be one of the players on the field, might want to start your career in season 14, start building a career's worth of yards, touchdowns, stats for your name to be called out live on TV every single week. All you have to do is head over to simulationfl.net. That's simulationfl.net. Click the Discord link. It's in the top right of the website, and it looks like a little game controller. Discord is a free chat app. You can talk football there with us, and you can create your player, start building draft stock for the season 14 draft, and maybe one day you'll be as good as T. Roy Gaines, who had 207 yards on the ground tonight. Huge night for T. Roy Gaines as he helps Baltimore keep their championship hopes alive. For everyone here at the Simulation Football League, it's been a wonderful night. We look forward to seeing you at the semifinal games as the SFL playoffs continue coming up soon. Thank you and good night.